Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Road to Greatness. My name is Elijah Citroni. I lost over 20 kilos to step onto a bodybuilding stage. I've coached hundreds of athletes to achieve success, and that includes athletes of all different disciplines, from swimmers to runners to equestrians. And the thing that I want to touch on today is the athlete that's me. 6 weeks ago, I stepped off stage, or by the time of this coming out, 7 weeks ago, I stepped off stage. And I've gained about 5 kilos in that time. And I'm coming to the end of my recovery phase. And so today I wanted to deep dive into how I manage my training, my nutrition, my lifestyle habits, my body image, and how I return to a state of health. So let's dive right in. The first 3 weeks post-show, which is essentially the entire month of May, were the toughest of all of these. Like, it really sucked. It took me a long time to get back to being in a state of health and just feeling robust in the gym as well. Like, even with an extra day of recovery thrown in, because I went from training 5 days to training 4 days, even with that extra day of recovery, I still didn't feel like myself. And it took me about 4 weeks to really find my stride with training before I actually started enjoying it again. And that sucked because I really love to train. So the fact that I was really having to push myself to get through a session, it had me concerned. I wasn't sure if I would get back into training like I did. However, the same could also be said when it came to nutrition. Like, naturally, I got hungry, really hungry, and my brain was completely occupied by the thoughts of food and just the desire to eat. Like, that did lead to an overindulgence a few times during that first week. Typically on a weekend when I was out with friends or family or just sharing a meal, I was eating in a way that would push me past fullness and like to the point where I was a bit sick. But what I am grateful for is that going through that experience, I didn't restrict myself at these, we'll call them overeating episodes. I practiced what it meant to give myself grace, and I sort of learnt from those experiences. It sucked watching my conditioning fade. However, there were moments where I thought I was a failure, but I knew that this was just part of the process. Okay, I knew that I needed to gain weight, needed to gain body fat, I needed to get healthy again in order to improve the package that I bought when I did step on stage for when I do jump on there again. And so what I was feeling was simply my physiology sending me a massive signal to get back to that point of safety as soon as I possibly could. And so how that responded was that my sleep was still poor, my eating habits weren't exactly the best, and my energy was low. I wasn't the best version of myself, and I advocate that for everyone, to be the best version of themselves, and me staying lean was not that. So I'd only feel worse than what I already did, trying to stay there and simply spin my wheels, especially when it came to training. So that's what I needed to change over those next couple of weeks and what the month of June has looked like. So once I got past the fact that I needed to get heavier and I couldn't stay dick skin shredded, I'm going to actually enunciate my words, I leaned into habits and behaviors that actually helped me get better and get back to a state of health. So I changed my environment to start off so that it was a little bit harder to overindulge. The second thing that I did was just incorporating a more diverse range of foods. I'm going to try. Oh, it's right on the bottom. Anyway, I incorporated a more diverse range of foods, especially things like legumes, like fermented foods, think sauerkraut, kimchi, pickled anything really, that would help me just keep on top of my food focus. And I also journaled daily, just as like a mini personal check-in to see how I'm feeling. And I found that actually helped out a lot too, because I could just talk to myself and just get out of my head and put whatever thoughts I had into words. And that helped just clear up some mental capacity. Now, I still aim to get in 12,000 steps a day, sometimes going as high as 15, and my sleep did see a massive boost from just getting heavier too. I went from 6 hours per night on average to now somewhere between 7 to 7.5. And my body image has slightly improved, like where I gained body fat has slowly spread out rather than just isolating itself to my midsection. And heading into this next week, I can confidently say that I'm about 90% recovered. Like my food focus is still there, but my energy, my sleep, my desire to train, all of that has significantly improved. And a lot of it, I believe, is having to do with giving myself time to recover rather than thinking that I'm going to be okay straight away. But regardless, I'm in a really good position to start my first gaining phase and kick off this improvement season. So every mistake that I've made with food so far, I don't see as a mistake. It is exclusively a lesson. Okay, be it when I was tired or I was frustrated or I was not all there, which is certainly the case during some days. They were showing me where I could grow and where I have the potential to grow, and give me the opportunity to practice what it means to be world class at something, which is really awesome. Okay, I get to grow through these experiences. I get to grow through pain, and that excites me. Like I had the chance to dive back into what it means to have issues when it comes to food or sleep or energy, motivations. This is all the things that my clients struggle with. And to have to troubleshoot my own struggles and find ways around them, turn them into trampolines, as I say. So turning, what I use, as I always say, and I've completely forgot, but I'm turning a stumbling block into a stepping stone, probably the best way to say it. And, using that to bounce back to a state of health. Ultimately, I know that's made me a better coach. And that makes the entire experience worthwhile. So if you were like me and you were feeling stuck, this is something that I believe will help you a lot because it's what I did. And maybe it's going to help you as well. First up is cleaning up your space. Okay, get rid of the things in your environment that trigger bad habits. These things that make it easier for you to do the things that you don't want to do. All right. And instead, make it easy for you to do the things that you want to do. All right. And that sounds super cliche, but you change your environment, you change your state. And that, I believe, has been the biggest ROI for me. Okay. And for clients as well. We change something about their environment. Maybe they no longer eat food in the kitchen, they eat it outside on a table and they actually are mindful about it. Maybe they start eating with, I'm going to keep this to food, maybe they start eating with their partners. Maybe they start packing meals. Maybe they don't have things out that make it easy for them to get to, or they put their sweet treats or the thing that they like at the very top of a cupboard. They have to get a step and then get on the step in order to get the thing, compared to having fruits or other healthy snacks nearby. So to say they're hungry, they're going to grab that instead because it's more convenient. So that's all we're doing. We're adding in convenience and we're adding in resistance. Okay, for both the good and bad things respectively. The second thing that I believe made a massive difference was protecting my sleep. Okay, I gave my brain and my body time to rest and reset, winding down every night. All right, like initially this is going to feel tough and I still struggle with this to this day. But the best thing that I believe you can do for any type of goal is consistently getting a good night's sleep. All right. Not only will you think and feel better, but it makes everything else run that much smoother. Okay. And the final thing that I actually resonated with a lot today during a call is being kind to yourself. Okay, trust that you're going to make mistakes, and while you don't need to be good at everything, give yourself the chance to practice what it means to be good. So that's holding no expectation that you're going to succeed. It's believing that you can and allowing the result to be whatever it is. Okay? Because it's from our mistakes that we get to learn the best lessons and we get to improve from them. Okay? And so that's how I believe we can build the foundation of behaviors and of a lifestyle that lasts. And so if you're in the thick of it right now, whatever that may be for you, I want you to know that I'm there with you and that you will be okay. And as long as you keep going, you will be okay. Okay, every day has to end. Eventually, you're going to get through it. Okay, take it one day at a time and trust that you can do this. And if you've made it this far, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment watching. What was the thing that you sort of took away? Was it having a clean space? Was it actually prioritizing your sleep or just being nice to yourself? What stood out to you the most? But as always, I will be back every single Friday. So until then, team, do take care, and I'll see you all next week.